All right, it is the Pillow Talk edition of Pugs and Company, heard each and every Sunday through Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, till whenever. And when I say till whenever, tonight might be a little bit slower, a little bit shorter than normal, but it ain't gonna be slow. Slow is the wrong word to use. We also do another show. We do 2 streams a day around here. We do one at noon. We call that the High Noon Show. That is more topic driven. It's current events and anything that everybody's talking about. We rip through it all and we cover it. All of that good stuff. Yeah, fantastic timing. Halftime. Well, yeah. All right. So I'll get to that later. There's a Cowboys game on. There's a Cowboys game on, and we've got a couple of rules around here. We do not do live streams during Bears games for me and Cowboy games for you. Also for me, though. Okay, so what was I getting at? Yes, we do 2 shows a day. We do the High Noon Show at noon, Central Standard Time, and then we do this, the Pillow Talk edition. We come back at night. The Pillow Talk edition is usually a little bit more light, a little bit more fast-paced, a little bit more silly, stupid, whatever you want to call it. All right, so looking at myself here, oh my God, people. Look at me. Look at me. I mean, I was never a handsome man, but I don't know what the hell is that. I just looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, do you bathe anymore? Is that something? Are we doing this still? Are we still getting in the shower? I didn't shower today. My God, I look like someone who hasn't showered in a week. So I'm going to change that. Getting excited. We got a big weekend ahead of us. Big weekend. It's a weekend with the boy. Got the boy this weekend, so that's always a good one. That's always fun. It's always good for me. It always makes me feel a little bit better. Hi, John. People filling out the chat room now. All right, so what are we going to get to on today's show? We almost didn't even do a show tonight because, as I said before, the Cowboy game typically causes, a little bit of a disruption. Oh, what else should I say? Hold on. There's a whole man. Look, I've been running around. Usually before a show. I have at least an hour where I just kind of sit and I get everything arranged. I didn't have that today. I was doing other things. I had other obligations. Oh, and you know what else? Here's something for you folks. So most of you tune in each and every is tuning in. What are you, an old man? Whatever. Whoever if you click on, you watch the stream, you do whatever it is you do. If you're regulars, you know that after each show that I like to go and hate watch. I will go back and I will hate watch myself, and I will just fall into a deep pit of despair and self-loathing and all of those things. And you know what I recognized today? Here's something I noticed today while hate watching myself this afternoon. I hope that I don't come across as like overly sad or melancholy or like, oh, poor, woe is me. I don't see, because here's the thing. I struggle. A lot of people that do this, or what some of you may have known me in a previous career of doing, broadcasting, radio, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people who do those things are frauds. They're phonies. They fake everything. It's all an image, man. Hey, I'm the roughest, toughest guy on the radio. And then you see him in real life, and he's like 5 foot tall and bald and fat. And, he's like, that guy's the tough guy on the radio? Yeah, man, they call me the Hammer because I give it to you straight. Yeah, pal, you want to come down here and say that to me? You get guys like that. And then you see him and you're like, oh my God, that guy's a total fraud. So my whole thing has always been, my partner Kelly and I, we always kind of adhered to the rule that nothing is off air. Everything, our lives, everything, anything that we're going on, if we're spinning out emotionally, we bring that on the air. Authenticity is always sort of the direction that we tried to go in, and it's what I always try to go. I try to be as authentic as possible with you guys. And I'm watching myself today and I'm like, don't be so authentic. You can dial that shit back, dude. You don't need. So I apologize. I've been in a really good mood lately, actually. And that's why it was strange when I was hate watching myself today. I went, these people don't know you're in a good mood. These people have no idea. Look at you. You're yelling, you're ranting, you're raving. That's because I like to keep my emotions as close to the surface doing these kinds of things as possible. So please, we're all good. We're all good. You guys are good. I'm good. Everybody's wonderful. What is that, ripping on my shirt? That shirt makes me think I need to be wearing special glasses. Shut up, Ed. I don't need to hear your criticisms. Guess what I'm going through right now with this shirt? This used to be a baggy shirt. Right now, it's a little bit tight around the belly. I'm so fat. Trying to be authentic. Man, I came down here. I was supposed to be getting in shape. I was supposed to be a best time of my life. Here we go. Let's restart the engine. Let's get back in. You know what I am? I'm a guy that eats instant mashed potatoes in my bed at midnight. That's what I've turned into. And now clothes that used to be kind of big on me are getting a little tight. So I don't need to hear about this shirt. Yeah, how about it? I hate this shirt. You know what? I should change my shirt. Thanks, Ed. This is because of Ed. This is because of Ed. It's tight. Ed's going to make me change my shirt. Thanks, Ed! They're going to change my shirt? Lucky I got a lot of shirts. Oh, I got shirts. I don't need to wear that. I can find something else. Something that doesn't make me feel like I'm a grotesque, old, insignificant piece of garbage who can't even fit into a shirt. All right. Feel better. I do feel better. Thanks, Ed. I feel better now. Oh, what am I, a sex god? What the hell? All right. Oh, yes, there you go, Emily. Make sure you thank Ed. He fixed the chat. He was the guy responsible for that. All right, we start out each and every show. We like to do a little thing I call the moment of joy. And here, tonight should be no difference. Difference? Oh, I'm going to siege on... Siege? What is wrong with me? I'm going to hate watch myself like a son of a bitch tonight after this one. All right, here you go. Here's your moment of joy. A little something to make you happy. A little something, put a smile on your face before we get into stupid, angry, mean stuff. And I don't think we're going to get into stupid, angry, mean stuff. But, okay, so this looks like a college class. And this is Henry. I don't know if Henry's got a whole lot of joy in his life. Looks like Henry might be kind of a awkward kid, if you know what I mean. But he's in front of the college class, and the teacher said that if Henry can solve a Rubik's Cube in 30 seconds, they wouldn't have to take their final exam. Whoa, you go, Henry. Let's see, can Henry do it? 1, 2, 3, Henry! Look it up, go, Henry! Henry's the most popular guy in the class right now. Everybody's rooting for Henry. Henry's working it. Can he do the Rubik's Cube? He did it! Henry did it! Oh, Henry. Henry ain't getting laid or nothing like that, but that's good for Henry. Good for Henry. There you go. Your moment of joy. Henry did it. Henry! What are you saying, Steve? Are you saying this is a Chess King shirt? No, this is actually a Banana Republic shirt, Steve. What do you mean, Chess King? Chess King. Do Chess Kings even still exist? This shirt happens to look really good with a certain tie that I have. But I'm wearing it for you guys like this. I don't know why. Leslie Gladbeck says instant mashed potatoes. Well, where'd she go? I missed her. I know it was a brilliant thought. Instant mashed potatoes with a slice of melted cheese are delicious. Instant mashed potatoes are fantastic. I don't do the slice of cheese. I do a little brown mushroom gravy in there. Oh, man. Why you fat, Pugs? 'Cause I eat mashed potatoes in my bed at midnight. That's why. Emily says, Pugs, as someone who you bicker with lots, I appreciate your hellfire, even if they don't. Well, I thank you, Emily. I don't really know if anybody appreciates it or not. I apologize if you don't appreciate my hellfire. I'm just telling you that it's something I noticed while I was hate watching myself. All right, we don't have a whole lot of stuff to do tonight. It's another one of these, just me freeballing it all by myself, because we got an echo problem when we try to bring people on the show, and that's a real bummer. But I thought I'm gonna spend the bulk of the show talking about the Alec Baldwin interview. Don't know how long I can go with that. Don't know if that's going to be worthy of anything more than maybe an hour or so. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. That's how we do things. Hey, by the way, something I noticed, I always have like the news on over here, and I still have CNN on. I put CNN on. I don't want to have Fox News on. I don't want to have MSNBC on. There is still like a little part of my brain that thinks that CNN is better than the two of them, when they're not. We all know that now. But what happened? What happened? Usually, Anderson Cooper was like doing double duty. They finally suspend that Chris Cuomo for being a duplicitous punk. Cuomo, that guy. I used to like him. Now he's just a big fraud. Anyway. Here's something that I wanted to mention. Oh, and we also might get into the death reel. Remember I told you yesterday that we might, I'll explain the death reel. If you were listening yesterday, then you know what the death reel is. Mostly we're going to talk about the Baldwin interview I just watched. Did you guys watch it? Any of you guys use it? CNN is better. Stop with the false equivalency. Oh, no, they're not, Leslie. CNN is so desperate right now to somehow win back over the CNN sucks, that all they do is do politically divisive shit. And they are trying to somehow even the scales by being ridiculously critical of, first of all, they were critical of everything that the last administration did. But now they are absurdly critical of everything this administration did, because I believe that they have some voice in their head going, we've got to be just as critical just to show that we're fair and balanced. I shouldn't have used that. That was an old phrase from Fox News. And what they're actually doing is they're creating the false equivalency between, look, I don't like this administration very much, but there were some absolutely silly things that were going on in the last one that were deserving of criticism. I just don't, I hate Jake Tapper now. Don't make me go into all of this. Don't make me. I'm not creating a false, they're terrible. They're terrible. Fox News is terrible. MSNBC is terrible. Those two networks make absolutely no qualms about what they are. They are one-sided. CNN was always my happy medium. They were always but they're not anymore. They're just ridiculous. They're just silly. All right. All right, Byron. I'm not getting into it with you. This is not what I'm talking about. This is not what I want to go into. Trust me. I am out there paddling my own boat, trying to find news and information in places that I trust. I'm telling you, though, the legacy, I used to use BBC a lot because I thought, well, the BBC is, impartial. That's interesting because that's a view of our situation that BBC sucks now, too. They're basically all a bunch of people trying to be Piers Morgan over there. Do you ever watch their Good Morning America? See, I don't want to go into this. Hey, you know what I have been doing, though? Somebody tweeted something, somebody who I follow on Twitter tweeted something about all of you people who in December of every year make these declarations about Die Hard is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. It's like, okay, you're being silly, right? Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Okay, it's not. It's set at Christmas time. But Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, so stop saying that. You're not interesting for saying that. People have been making that stupid declaration for the last 20 years or so. We all just accept it, and we're hoping that you shut up about it because it's not a Christmas movie. It's set at Christmas time. It's not a Christmas movie. That was something that somebody else tweeted. But you know what is like my favorite? I'm ready. Speaking of declarations, I'm ready to make a declaration. Are you ready? You know what my favorite Christmas movie is? No, Pugs. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Well, I'll tell you. Give me a second here to button up my shirt. I am a heterosexual, sports-loving, action film appreciating guy's guy dude. At least that's how I like to present myself. I'm a man's man. All right, not really, but to a degree I am. You know, you sit around, you have a beer with me, we're going to flip around, we'll probably end up watching ESPN. So I'm that kind of guy. You know what my favorite Christmas movie is of all time? Oh, Leslie. Leslie knows. Leslie got it. My favorite Christmas movie of all time is Love Actually. Oh, what? You got a problem with that? Love Actually. Love Actually. Oh, by the way, do you know what that means? Do you know love it? Like people think that's, well, what kind of a title is that? What's not a full, it's the full sentence is love actually is all around you. That's the line, and they just shortened the title to Love Actually. Love Actually is all around you. That freaking movie, I don't know. I saw it for the first time when it came out. What was it, like 2003 or something like that? And I remember I saw it with a girl I was dating, and I remember thinking, oh, Jesus, this is such a chick movie. And then like 5 years later, it was on, and I don't know, maybe I was going through something, but I watched it for the second time, and I was like, oh, God, that's actually such a great movie. And every year I watch Love Actually. And you know how I'm doing it this year? Started watching it the other night. Here's what I need. About 20 minutes a night. I watch about 20 minutes a night of Love Actually. And then right before I go to bed, watch about 20 minutes of it. And then I'll stop it and I'll go to sleep. And then the next day I'll wake up, do my thing, have my day. And then when I get into bed to go to sleep, I'll watch another 20 minutes of Love Actually. Right now I'm about an hour into it. I love that movie. Yeah, Leslie. She's talking about the opening. Well, it's not the opening, but it's one of the very early scenes where Liam Neeson's wife has died. And wait, are you talking about the funeral? Yeah, okay, the funeral. Because there's also a wedding in like the first couple of scenes. But anyway, everything about that movie is just so wonderful. And the more I watch it, I go, this movie is pure kindness. This movie is pure decency. This movie is just, and it's not a stupid, I mean, I guess there are some, okay, is it a rom-com? Maybe it is, because I'm pretty anti-rom-com. I'm not a big rom-com supporter. So maybe this is a rom-com. But it's Christmassy. It's Christmassy, and I love the, man, I don't know. I could go on and on about Love Actually. I love, Keira Knightley has never been more beautiful in her life than in this movie. And Liam Neeson is great, and Hugh Grant is even great. It's just a wonderful movie. So that's kind of putting me in the Christmas mood. So every night I watch about 20 minutes of Love Actually. You know what really hurts, though? Like, I would love to watch that movie with my 12-year-old boy. Fat chance of that happening. He'll lose all respect for me. He'll be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Is that, I know Liam Neeson is in it. I might have to give it a try. Oh, Steve Eaton. There's no gunplay. There are no car chases, nothing like that. It's just a really well done story. And it's like an ensemble cast of all these different people. Remember, the premise of the movie is that no matter where you are, no matter how alone you feel, no matter how isolated from happiness and all that, love is actually all around you. The opening scene, Leslie, I like the opening scene in the airport. I like where the narrator, who's the narrator? Is it Hugh Grant? I don't know who it is. The narrator is talking about how he likes to go to the airport and look around because there is nowhere else that you can go where you can witness love firsthand more abundantly than at the airport. And they're just showing all these random shots of people kissing goodbye and getting on a plane, people coming off a plane and running into the little kids, running up to their mom who just got off the plane. Oh, it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. You're kind of a pussy, Pugs. Yeah, say it to my face. Yeah. If you say it to my face, you might make me cry. Because love is actually all around us. No, I do. I like the movie. You should check it out. If you've never seen it, Steve, you should see it. No, Liam Neeson does not get kidnapped. Although, Albert agrees. Albert's another man's man. Love Actually and a cup of Baileys. That's a hell of a night in a cold December evening. Although it ain't cold. I got all the windows. It's December 2nd. I got all the damn windows open. It's like 70 degrees out here. It's not cold enough or not warm enough to justify putting on the air conditioning. But when you open up the windows, it's like, it's still kind of hot in here. This is open window and fan weather. December 2nd. What the hell are we talking about here? Do you know what I find? This was my whole point. We just went around in circles with me talking about Love Actually. Maybe we could watch the trailer. Yeah, why not, right? Why not? I'll make you all watch. If you don't know what I'm talking about, screw you. Screw all of you. I'll make you watch this trailer with me. I'm going to make you watch it, just in case you're not sure what it is. It does have that like really lame scene where the guy comes to the door of Keira Knightley and he holds up the signs about, oh, I love you and all that. You know, that's been parodied like a million times and a whole bunch of other things. Here you go. This is my forced moment of joy for you. This is the trailer for Love Actually. Here we go. Let's watch it. My favorite Christmas movie. Okay, here we go. Following preview.
Throughout the years, working title films and writer Richard Curtis have captured the euphoria, hysteria, and humiliation
The hell is this? Get to the trailer!
The films Four Weddings and a Funeral,
What?
Notting Hill, and Bridget Jones's Diary.
I've never seen that. Here you
This
go.
holiday season, join this unforgettable filmmaking team.
Welcome, Prime Minister. This is Natalie.
Hello, David. I mean, sir.
20 years ago, you'd have been just as tight.
As they explore that time of year when desires are revealed.
I'm in love.
Is it young to be in love?
No.
Oh, no, okay.
Secrets are exposed.
Your secretary is very pretty.
Is she?
Be careful there.
And chances
Yeah, that's right. Alan Rickman's in this bitch. Look at her. Keira Knightley in her prime.
are finally taken.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Universal Pictures invites you
What's the best sex you've ever had?
Britney Spears. No, only kidding. She was rubbish.
to take everything you know about love
You have this kind of problem? Yeah, of course you did, you saucy minx.
and multiply it by 8.
Would you excuse me for 1 second? Okay, that's done.
Hugh Grant, Liam Neeson, Colin Firth, Laura Linney, Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, Rowan Atkinson,
Mr.
Keira
Bean!
Knightley.
Christmas is the time of being with the people you love.
This guy's funny. That guy's funny.
Yeah, I need a car.
This holiday season,
This trailer sucks.
Does Natalie live here?
all you need
Hello.
is love, actually.
Are you seeing carols?
I suppose I could.
Please, sir, please.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen.
Oh, it is a rom-com.
When the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and...
I don't know why I did that. That was a horseshit trailer. When did they start making trailers good? You ever go back and you look at a movie from like the 80s or the 90s and you watch the trailer and you're really disappointed in the quality of the trailer and you're like, we used to think trailers were good. When the hell did they get really good? Because that trailer sucked. Okay. Oh, another interesting thing about, Jeff Glenn, you said you were going to be on after the Cowboy game. What have I missed? Hey, you missed nothing. You missed me just going on and on and on and on about Love Actually. Did you miss anything else? You know, a moment of joy. Some dude did a Rubik's Cube in class in under 30 seconds, and that meant that the class didn't have to take their exams, so they all got excited for him, and he looked like the kind of kid that doesn't have a lot of hero days, so that was kind of nice. That was a moment of joy. Are you caught up, Jeff? Because, I can't really be doing this for everybody. I can't. People are going to be joining off and on, for the next however. That trailer for Love Actually sucked. Oh, also, Jeff, I've been going on and on about how Love Actually is my favorite. Byron, you missed my original shirt. I was wearing a different shirt, and then Ed, my boss, got in the chat room and told me that my shirt was stupid, and that made me feel bad, and I can't have that in my head, so I had to go change my shirt. He was right, though. He wasn't wrong. There you go. You're all caught up. One last thing on my Love Actually being the greatest Christmas movie of all time. Little rant. It's a Wonderful Life is pretty good too, but we won't go into. And Christmas Story is pretty good. Ralphie, with Flick sticking his tongue to the pole. That's pretty awesome too. Not Home Alone though. I don't consider that a Christmas movie. But one last observation on. Hey Pugs, why don't you end your little observation screed on Love Actually with something that's really depressing and a bummer? Okay, don't mind if I do. So in this movie in 2003, it's all about Liam Neeson. It's not all about. He's just one of the main storylines that we follow. Liam Neeson's wife has just died. She is just, and he's like all depressed and he's all sad, and it's a terrible thing. He loved his wife, and his wife has died. Do you remember when Liam Neeson's real wife died, Natasha Richardson? And that was just a couple of years after this movie. And I'm like watching these scenes where he's like really upset about his wife passing away and how he doesn't really want to go on. And then I got really upset because I love Liam Neeson. And that dude went through that for real just a couple of years later. And I was like, oh, I want to hug Liam Neeson. And then Liam Neeson reinvented himself as the guy who stops kidnapping. All right, so that's all I got. That's all I got for you on Love Actually. It's already 9:30. Look at that. I was like, yeah, we'll probably just do an hour. And now it's already 9:30, so that plan's already in the shitter. All right, so here's what we're all gathered here for. Hey, did you guys watch the Alec Baldwin thing? Anybody? Is there anybody that is here? Because I joined late too. Thanks for catching us up. Missed the Alec Baldwin interview, so I need details. All right, I got thoughts on the Alec Baldwin thing, and you know what? I said that I would take calls, so why not I'll put up the phone number. Only calls on the Alec Baldwin thing. If you got hot takes, and don't do it yet now. Don't do it, please. If you're paying attention, don't do it yet. Don't call yet, because it's just going to ring through, and it's going to irritate me, and then that's going to derail me from a train of thought. And so I'll tell you when, if you want to call. You know what? Here, look for this. That means you guys can start calling if you want, but not now. Not now. This means not now, but you see that. That means go ahead. If you want to call, you got something to say. And I can't imagine it because I don't know how many people actually watched it. The thing about the stream that I do is that it's always just about me, just about whatever I'm going through and whatever I've been experiencing. And I sat and I watched Alec Baldwin sat down with George Stephanopoulos today, ABC News, 7 o'clock. Spent the whole hour with him. Talked about Helena Hutchins, the what a sad story. We got to see her son, her 9-year-old son, and her husband, her widower. Yeah, I mean, it's really, and we got to all kinds of what. Apparently she was awesome. And look, I know that I was thinking this the whole time I'm watching. I'm like, no matter who it was who died on that set, would we be hearing these kinds of things? You know what I mean? Like, you don't ever say anything bad. Something tragic happens to somebody, and all of a sudden they're elevated to some sort of, celestial goddess. Well, if someone had to go, why did it have to be her? That whole thing. But my point is, in her case, it seemed like maybe it was true. Maybe she was really this absolutely lovely person who everybody liked. And so what a sad thing. Okay, so we're talking about the Alec Baldwin incident that occurred in New Mexico on the set of the movie Rust that he was making. I learned some things that I didn't know before. This happened about a month ago. Well, actually, maybe a full month ago. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a little bit more. I remember it happened the night that we didn't do a show that night. It was a Thursday, and we had gone to the SMU Tulane game at SMU Stadium right down the street. SMU Stadium? It's Ford Field, right? Yeah, Ford Field right up the street here. So, it was sort of a boys' night out, me and my son and E and his boy. We went to the game, and I'm in the middle of the game, and I start getting these texts. Hey, did you hear about Alec Baldwin? Hey, did you hear about... And I didn't, because I'm at a football game. And we didn't do a show that night. So the next day we came in and we talked about it on the High Noon Show. What we knew at the time was that there was a death on the set of the new Alec Baldwin movie, a cowboy film, that he had shot the assistant director, Helena Hutchins, a young woman, and that she had passed away. And that was really all we knew for a while. And then it was all anybody in the media talked about for the next week or two. And then it got disgusting. It got gross because it's Alec Baldwin. And I even said at the time, I think one of my first takes was, oh my God, if something terrible like this was going, if there was going to be a tragic incident surrounding, any actor in Hollywood, ooh, Alec Baldwin is in for a wild ride on this, baby, because he is a polarizing dude. He was the guy that played Trump for the last year on Saturday Night Live. He's very liberal. He's a big Dem supporter and all of that stuff. And not only that, but, and maybe I should get this out of the way. I should probably tell you where I sit on Alec Baldwin. I think that Alec Baldwin is a crazy talented actor. Crazy talented guy, man. I mean, anybody who's ever seen him host Saturday Night Live, and he's hosted Saturday Night Live at least a dozen times, I mean, over the years, he's always hosting it. He's fantastic. I mean, he is terrific. He does impressions. He's a very talented guy. And also, I will say this: as a dramatic film actor, he was a dramatic film actor in the beginning of his career. Hunt for Red October, Glengarry Glen Ross. I can't think of anything else. The Getaway. He remade The Getaway, which is a great Steve McQueen and Ally McGraw movie that he remade with his wife at the time, Kim Basinger. He was a dramatic leading man, handsome Hollywood actor who then would reveal another side of himself in talk shows or whatever, a side that was articulate, seemingly very well educated, very up on things, very smart, very engaging, and funny as hell. And then as soon as he hit like 50 years old or something, he decided that, okay, I've done the drama thing. I can no longer be the handsome leading man. I'm now going to try and do comedy. And I'll tell you, for my money, Jack Donaghy from 30 Rock is one of the funniest characters in television history. He did comedy like, whoa, that guy, that's the Glengarry Glen Ross guy, you know? First place, new Cadillac. Second place, steak knives. That's that guy. That's always be closing. ABC, always be closing. Put that back. Coffee is for closers. That's Alec Baldwin. That's now suddenly he's this Jack Donaghy character on one of the funniest sitcoms on TV. My God, this dude has range. So I always had an appreciation for him in that regard. As a talented guy. He's not a hack. He's a talented guy. And he started talking. Then he started getting involved in like social issues and politics. And I'm like, oh, God. Oh, now we got to deal with this, huh? Now this guy, I mean, I certainly don't hate him the way right-wingers hate him, because I also have this appreciation for him as an actor, and I found him to be pretty interesting. But I mean, I have to say that within the last 10 to 15 years of Alec Baldwin being a thing in the public square, he started to grate on me a little bit. He started to seem a little bit holier than thou, a little bit elitist, very elitist, very, well, you know, I mean, there was an elitism to the Jack Donaghy character on 30 Rock that I loved within the context of a comedy show. But, you know, him yelling at people on the streets of New York didn't play quite as well. It's just like, what's this millionaire Hollywood movie star doing yelling at that guy just because he's filming him with a cell phone? You're a celebrity, dude. That's what people do. People are excited to see you. Get over yourself. Stop it. So there were a whole bunch of things that, and then do you remember his daughter Ireland? She's probably, I don't know, what was she? Probably like 10 years old at the time. By the way, have you seen the daughter of Kim Basinger and Alec Baldwin, Ireland Baldwin? She's got to be like 30, right? She's got to be like, before I start talking about her, let me make sure. Let me see how old she is. How old is Ireland Baldwin? Let me make sure she's 26 years old.
Ireland Baldwin is 26 years old.
She's 26. Oh my God, she's 26. His wife is 37. Wee! Oh, the life of Alec Baldwin. Ireland Baldwin, who is the daughter of Kim Basinger, one of the most beautiful women of all time in Hollywood history, and Alec Baldwin, one of the most ruggedly handsome leading men. And I don't want to read the chat room now because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of women going, I don't find him attractive. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care what you think. It's not even arguing. He was like people's sexiest man alive a couple of times. Stop it. I'm not going to get into this argument. I'm not gay, so maybe I don't have the right approach to evaluating what he is. I just know that he's a good-looking guy. So the daughter of these two exquisite human beings, woo! Ireland Baldwin. First of all, Ireland Baldwin is 6'1". I mean, man, she is big. She's a very large woman. But if you remember when she was like 10 years old, Alec Baldwin was going through a nasty separation situation with Kim Basinger, his mom, or her mom. And apparently there was some custody thing going on. And Alec Baldwin, left a message for his daughter, Ireland, on an answering machine, or maybe it was voicemail. I don't know. Did they have voicemail back then? Who knows? It's probably 16 years ago. I'm sure it was voicemail. And it was brutal. It was like, boy, oh boy. It was the first time I heard. Alec Baldwin's got some rage issues. Alec Baldwin's an angry, angry man. He said some things to his young daughter in that phone call that I remember Kelly and I on the air. We were breaking down the phone call. We were listening to it, and she was defending him. I didn't yet have a kid at the time. So, she kept saying, oh, you don't know how mean kids can be to you. You don't know how mean kids. And all I was reacting to was, this father should never speak to his daughter in this way. I mean, it was horrible. He called her a little pig. He was calling her all kinds of really mean names. It really rubbed me the wrong way. And I never truly recovered my appreciation for Alec Baldwin after hearing that. Now, good news, they're incredibly close now. So it wasn't like a deal breaker. It wasn't like, yeah, she's got daddy issues. She doesn't. No, they always show pictures of them out holding hands, walking down the street, her hanging on her daddy. And, they seem to have a very nice, very good, very close and loving relationship. So obviously that call wasn't something that, was regular. It's not like she's going to be at her therapist going, my father used to verbally abuse him and I just can't stand to be in the same room with him anymore. No, it doesn't seem to be a situation like that at all. But he had that situation go down. So, there were a lot of people waiting in the weeds for Alec Baldwin to do something wrong. And then when this Rust film set situation happened, I was like, he is not going to be, ain't nobody giving this dude the benefit of the doubt. He has been way too much of an elitist, way too much of a holier than thou. This is going to be bad for him. And it has been. It has been incredible. Hey, I'm looking at this thing on Ireland Baldwin. Ladies in the chat room. She's a size 10 shoe. What is that? Is that big? Is a size 10 woman's shoe big? I mean, she's 6'1", so I'm guessing that's big. But I don't know women's shoe sizes. And for some reason, it just says born October 23rd, 1995. She's 26 years old. Her height is 6'1", and her shoe size is 10. That seems like a very weird, random thing to have there. It's not big. April says a size 10 is not big. Okay, all right, that's good. Because 6'1" is big. I happen to know for a fact, being only 6 foot myself, that 6'1" for a beautiful blonde woman, that's a big, beautiful blonde right there. 9 is most sold out. So that's okay. So 9 would probably be then what you're saying is the most common. All right. So Ireland, but we can get off Ireland Baldwin. She's all tatted up though too. She's got a lot of like regrettable tats. So maybe there are some residual daddy issues going on there. I don't know. She's she was with Justin Bieber. She was one of the Biebs ladies. She must tower over him, right? All right, let's move on. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not her. That's her cousin. I guess her cousin is married to Bieber. I don't know. I can't keep the Baldwin lady straight. I can barely keep my thoughts about Alex straight. She was just standing with Bieber. I guess they're not together. I guess says with her cousin, blah, blah, blah. Who's Bieber married to? Anybody know? Is Bieber married to a Baldwin? Because I know he's not married to Alec Baldwin's daughter. I feel like I would know that. All right. I'm sure that you're all busy Google searching who Justin Bieber's wife is, because this is, a show being hosted by an old man. Wow. Yeah. Well, whoever Bieber's married to, she's pretty. Haley Baldwin. So Bieber's married to Haley Baldwin. Is that a cousin? What is that? Is that, Steve? Oh, it's Steven's daughter. Man, I'm telling you. And so Alec Baldwin is Haley Baldwin. Hey, we'll call her Haley Baldwin Bieber. Hey, that's pretty good. Haley Baldwin Bieber. Haley Baldwin Bieber and Associates. All right, so those are like cousins to the whole Alec Baldwin situation. Oh my God, Stephen Baldwin is Justin Bieber's father-in-law. Stephen Baldwin's a weirdo. I mean, it would be hard to imagine that there would be one of the Baldwin brothers who is less likable than Alec, but geez, that would be absolutely Stephen Baldwin. That guy's just a weirdo. Emily, yeah, we agree. Emily, the weird Biodome Baldwin. Okay. Yeah, that's got to be a strange fit. Is Haley Baldwin? Yeah, Haley Baldwin is pretty too. She's very pretty, but I got to tell you, I'm liking Kim Basinger's daughter better. She's just massive, gorgeous, tall, blonde. I can do without the tats, but hey, you know what? I'm old enough to be your dad, so why should I even be considerate of that? All right, so what were my thoughts? Okay, so it was strange that this would happen to Alec Baldwin. I thought, boy, oh boy, they're going to come for him. And boy, did they. They came for Alec Baldwin. The Fox Newses, the Newsmaxes, the OANs, all the crazy, people. Trump came for him. They said some absolutely ridiculous things, and ridiculous like this. The idea that Alec Baldwin murdered this poor woman in front of everybody on the set, that just defies all logic. That's just stupid. That's just dumb. Look, I'm all for, hating on people we don't like, but he didn't murder her, okay? Just because it fits your political ideology doesn't mean that it's true. There are too many of us in this world right now who exist in this bubble where anything we want to be has to be. And if we can somehow find something that justifies us having a lunatic idea about something, then we're just going to run with that because what the fuck, who cares? Alec Baldwin didn't murder anybody. He might be responsible for the death of someone, but that's very different than murdering somebody, you numbskulls. Not you specifically. The general you out there who might be sitting here thinking, well, you pugs, Alec Baldwin's a murderer and he needs to go to jail for murdering that. Oh, shut up, stupid. Sit down. Go watch something else. There's got to be some monkeys throwing shit videos on YouTube you can enjoy. You don't need to be here wasting time with me because I don't want to put up with it. He didn't murder anybody. The question is, however, is he responsible for the death of this beautiful young woman, the assistant director, the cinematographer? And so he sat down with George Stephanopoulos tonight. And he looked terrible. Oh, did he? If you wanted to call that means if you wanted to call and have a comment on this, you can do that now. He looked terrible. bags under his eyes. He looked gaunt, gray. He looked. Look at me. He still looked. You ladies would still be more attracted to him than you would be to me, but I was never Alec Baldwin to start with. He started out at like a really good place, and he just went. Whereas I started out at this sort of, and then I kind of just went. So, there's not really a comparison. So he's still better looking than me. But for Alec Baldwin, he looked terrible. He had these giant bags under his eyes. Before I said that, do I have bags? Yeah, I sure do. Look at the asshole criticizing somebody else's bag. He's also like 20 years older than me. 20 years older than me. I look like I could have gone to high school with him. He looked bad. There is no doubt in my mind that Alec Baldwin has gone through some shit, man. And he sat down and he's talking to Stephanopoulos, and Stephanopoulos asked him, pretty much every question that I would ask. He didn't hedge on anything. And Alec Baldwin, okay, some of the things that I thought were really interesting. So the big teaser that they were floating out there was that Alec Baldwin said he never pulled the trigger. And we're all like, what? What? How? I'm sorry. I'm not going to speak for you. I was like, what? How is he saying he didn't pull the trigger? The hell is that about? Of course he pulled the trigger. There's a dead woman there. Guns are only, it only happens when you pull the trigger. But that's not actually true. It was one of those old, he explained that his hand, his finger wasn't even on the trigger. His finger was outside the trigger guard. And a number of people on the set have also already told police that, he was holding the butt of the gun, I guess. What he was doing was he had the is it the hammer? He had the hammer cocked back, and they were testing a scene. They're blocking a scene, not even filming the scene for the movie. Hayla Hutchins, the victim in this case, she was looking at a monitor right in front of him, and the camera was attached to the monitor, and she was telling him, okay, raise the gun a little more. Okay. All right. No, tilt it. Now tilt it. Okay. All right. That's good. Hold it right there. She was framing the shot so that when they started filming, he would know as the actor where he needed to place the gun for the shot. So his hand wasn't even on the trigger. What he did say happened was that he was then instructed to pull the hammer back, right? Not even all the way, but just enough. And it was when he let go of that, without no finger on the trigger or anything, but when the hammer went down, that's when the gun went off. And she was fatally struck. The bullet went through her side, and it came out, and then it struck the director of the film, Sousa was his name, and he was not fatally shot. He's fine. He recovered. And George Stephanopoulos said, what was your initial reaction? And he said, I thought she fainted. And he thought that because his side of the story, he had absolutely no concept, he couldn't fathom the idea that there was a bullet in the gun. He thought that maybe someone had put a blank in there, but there wasn't supposed to be anything in that gun. Maybe somebody had put like a blank and a little piece of cotton wadding had shot through, and his initial reaction was, oh, she fainted. And then he went on to say that he didn't know for 45 minutes afterwards that there was a bullet in the gun, that he had been shot, or that anybody had been shot. Because what had happened was she fell to the ground. The director who was struck fell to the ground, and he was screaming. She was not screaming. She was, he said to the best of his recollection that she did seem to be alive, but she wasn't making any noise, So, and he said that he stood there over her for a very short period of time, like, are you okay? Are you okay? And at that point, people on the set realized that something was wrong, and they cleared the set. So everybody was forced out. The medical team that was there rushed in, and he was sort of ushered away. And like he said, he thought it was just like a blank, like a little issue. He says that it wasn't until 45 minutes later when he was in the police department, where the police were taking reports on what had happened, was when the cop told him that she didn't make it. And he's, well, what do you mean she didn't make it? And he's like, there was a bullet, you got shot. So his entire thing, and by the way, before we get into the nuances of how I feel he comported himself, his whole thing is that this was an accident. Obviously, I mean, I'm not one of the. Of course, it was an accident. This was an accident, a tragic accident, a deadly accident, and he is at a loss as to why this happened. And essentially it comes down to two things: sabotage or incompetence. Because there were not supposed to be any live rounds of ammunition on the set. And he, without saying it, he certainly suggested that there was something shady on this set about how a live bullet was introduced. Oh, he also said that the AD did all of the things that you're supposed to do when you use a firearm. Cold gun on the set. All right, cold gun. That means we can all relax. It means there's no bullets in it. And so, yeah, I mean, at no point did he go, I take full responsibility. I mean, he did, you know, I don't think that's his place to do it. He seemed like someone who has been through hell. He seems like somebody who is extremely emotionally broken by this incident. He is not like, so what? She's dead. Is this going to affect my career? He didn't seem like that at all. He said he may never work again. He certainly will never do another movie where there's a gun on it. And if his career is over, that's fine. He said he's got another movie that he's going to start shooting in January. And in the days following this incident, he spoke to the producers of that movie. And he said, look, you guys want to distance yourself? You don't want me in this. This is fine. Maybe I should just take some time off. And they're like, no, we're okay. We're okay. You can come be a part. We still want you in this film. Now, as for the other things, liability and all of that sort of stuff, turns out, when we had talked about this, we were like, well, he's a producer, so he's in charge. There are different kinds of producers. And I was reading a bunch of stuff online after he was, after the interview, stuff that people were saying about, what it means. Like, what he's a producer in title only. Like, there are producers who put up all of the money for everything. And when the movie makes a whole bunch at the box office, the guy who put up all the money for everything gets the lion's share of that because he's the producer. It's his baby. He owns it. The producer pays the director, the producer pays the actors, the producer pays everything. But a lot of times, especially in low budget films, you have people who receive producer credits who are not actually producers. They're not actually on any of the paperwork where they're liable for anything. It's just a screen credit. And the reason that this happens, and it seems to be the reason that Alec Baldwin was given a producer credit on this film, is because you do that in lieu of making the amount of money that you might normally make. Like, if you're doing a film at a discount, you say, okay, fine, but then I want the producer credit because producer, that means stuff. And then you get a little piece of whatever the box. Okay, so if I normally charge $5 million for a film, I recognize that this is an indie film. I'm going to do this for $500,000, and you're going to give me half of 1% of the box office. That's how they recoup what they are. And in doing so, you receive a producer credit. I talked a while ago about that new show, Only Murders in the Building, the Steve Martin Short, and Selena Gomez movie or TV show series that's on Hulu. When that show, when you watch the opening credits, the executive producers of that series are Martin Short, Steve Martin, Selena Gomez, and some dude named Bob. And then I made the joke that I'm guessing that some dude named Bob is doing all the producer work because those actors obviously just received producer credit because, they're doing a TV show. So that's how it works, and that's how it was explained. So as far as liability and all those sorts of things, he may not be on the hook for it the way we thought. I know that I was coming on the air and presenting it like he was the main executive producer and he was putting the money up for it. But no, there's actually a production company that he doesn't own. He's not a part of it. That's in charge of it. And that production company is certainly on the hook for whatever civil damages. And I don't know to what degree Alec Baldwin is. And he said he doesn't know either. And we'll have to find out about all that. All right, let me look at some of the chat questions and stuff that we got. Let's see here. People are still talking about. Leslie says murder requires intent to kill. Yes, and motive and some degree of premeditation. Otherwise, it's homicide. When it's an accident, when it just happens, that's not murder. We now have to get into the definition of murder. I've been struggling for the last couple of weeks with trying to get across the definition of terrorism. There is a definition for murder in what occurred on the set here, unless you can prove he did it deliberately and that he was having an affair with her and she was going to tell his wife and he needed to do something that... Short of that, I mean, this was just a tragic accident for which he seems incredibly broken over. I mean, granted, he's a very talented actor, so I could be fooled, but I watched him in this interview, and long story short, who you kidding, Pugs? You ain't going to make anything short. You got time to fill here. Long story short, I believed him. I believe that he's worried to some extent about what happens next. I don't believe he's worried about criminal charges. And I don't think anybody with half a brain and a willingness to look at this all objectively thinks he's in any criminal danger because of exactly what I just said, the definition of murder and how you bring murder charges or any sort of really criminal or felony charges here that he would be liable for. I think that this was probably... He really floated the idea of sabotage. Like, he obviously was being very careful, and he's a very smart man, and he probably spent a lot of time with attorneys before he sat down with George Stephanopoulos, and I think that probably served him well. He suggested certain things, but never came straight out and said them. He definitely floated the balloon that it could be sabotage, and I'm like, well, why would it be deliberate sabotage? Well, it was a very there was a lot of stuff going on the set. There were people who were upset with pay. There were people who were upset with accommodations. There were people, that's the other thing. Remember, people on that set were very angry. They were threatening to go on strike. They were threatening to go on strike. And one of the things that we learned from this interview was that Alec Baldwin supported them going on strike 100%. So much so that nights before this tragic situation happened, Alec Baldwin made and posted an Instagram video to the people on the set who were considering striking, where he said, I support you 100%. You have to do what you have to do, but I want you to remember that management doesn't give a damn about you. You need to take care of you. So any idea that he was like, he was angry that they were striking and he's a terrible boss and all of that stuff. No, there is video evidence to the contrary from a few days where he was supporting the people who were complaining about the conditions. And he was seemingly telling them, he told them flat out. He was like, the producers don't give a shit about you. The people who you are going to strike against, maybe this is your only recourse because they don't care. They just care about the money. That's basically what he said. So any idea that, he was like the bad guy, he was the Mr. Potter in this whole thing, and they were just rebelling against him, that doesn't seem to be true. Doesn't seem to be true at all. Let's see what else. We'll go through here. We'll see if I can remember anything else. April says, those eye bags looking rough. He's looking like Grandpa old now. Yeah, he is. He's not looking good. Jeff says, I would say as the actor, he is not responsible, but as the exec producer, he is, and the armorer is definitely responsible. Okay, I realized that was posted a while ago, so Jeff now knows that he's not the executive producer. He's not responsible in that capacity. Although he himself said he doesn't know. He's not entirely sure what sort of liability he has, which I found a little bit hard to believe because, come on, you're telling me you haven't been with a whole bunch of lawyers telling you exactly what gaming out all the possible scenarios? You're a rich guy. You have lawyers. Jeff Glenn says, with that gun, if the gun's not cocked, pulling the trigger actually does nothing. You have to manually pull the hammer back, and then pulling the trigger will release it. Okay. Did they ever say how many live rounds were actually in the cylinder of the revolver? If only one, then it's really shady. Yeah, there was just the one. And it was the next up. It was on deck. John says, they said live bullet might have been possible because there was another movie the same gun provider was working on that required live ammunition. At least that's what the local LA station reported. Yeah, John, you're right. I was sort of building up to that. So what is it starting to look like? Without saying it directly, he was suggesting that the armorer on the set, which, as he pointed out, and I'm with him. I don't know if I told you about this, but I did quite a bit of film work back in my younger days. I was an extra on a number of films big name films that shot. He said he had never heard the term armorer before. I'd never heard the term armorer. That's not a term that was ever used. He's like, I've been working in films for 40 years, and I have never heard that person referred to as the armorer. And he's right. That person's the prop master. And that's what he said. He goes, it's the prop guy. It's the prop master. The prop master handles the guns. So now we're all throwing out armorer. We're in the film biz. We know that term. Well, I'd never heard it before. But he was suggesting that ultimately, you know who you ought to be looking at? You ought to be looking at the young lady who handed me the gun, the young lady who was in charge of the gun, the young lady who was in charge ultimately for what was in the gun. You ought to be looking at her, and you ought to be looking at the company that provided the guns, and that's what John's referring to. That there's a company that provides all the guns and all that kind of stuff, and they're kind of thinking that maybe this was not so much sabotage as much as incompetence. And boy, oh boy, if you own the company that provides these guns for the set, if you own that company and it was due to some form of incompetence on your end of the thing that a gun showed up on this set with, the incompetence would have to be on the part of the film's armorer and the provider of the weaponry, because you can only blame the provider of the weaponry so far when it is the armorer's job to make sure the gun is empty. That's pretty much their whole gig, that they need to make sure, they need to account for bullets, live rounds, blanks, all of that stuff. Guns, nobody plays with the guns are kept away from everybody else. So he was suggesting, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, if we can just distance ourselves from, look, I know we love to live in the conspiracy theory. I know that's something that we just, everything's a conspiracy, Pugs now. JFK Jr. is going to show back up out there at Dealey Plaza tomorrow. Did you hear that? That's actually happening again tomorrow. He's tomorrow. Now, I know. The last four times we had a dentist appointment. His kid got sick and had to stay home from school. Whole bunch of reasons why JFK hasn't shown up the last couple of times he was supposed to show up down there in Dealey Plaza. Tomorrow, be there or be square. He's gonna show up. So we don't exist in that world around here. At least I'm hoping that we don't. So that's why I don't believe sabotage or any kind of conspiracy theory. I think more often than not, people are fuck-ups. And incompetence, is oftentimes the whole reason for the deal. A lot of terrible things happen because of incompetence, because somebody had a bad day at work. Let's go back and see what some of these other comments are. Kenny Jenkins, greetings from Corpus Christi. Greetings to you. People also get producer credits for investing in the project. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But in the case of the movie star, in the case of the big movie star, he's the biggest name in the film. They got him to sell it. They got him to sell the overseas rights. They got him for, there are a lot of reasons. And they probably couldn't afford to pay his note, which was probably like $5 million, I think. And it's an independent film, so they probably got him for a lot less. And in return for that, he gets a producer credit. But yeah, there are many ways. Drug dealers have received producer credits on films. Swear to God. I can't think of the name of the film. Famous film from like the 1980s. I want to say it won like an Academy Award or something. God, what is this? Now I'm going to have to Google this. But yeah, one of the people listed as the producer was the guy who brought all the coke to all the actors and the producers and directors and all of that. So yeah, there's no set list. There's no criteria that has to be met. No boxes need to be checked for you to get a producer credit. Anybody who decides who the producer is who decides who the producer is. There's no... Pugs, the armorer can be a prop guy if he's licensed. Sometimes a gun-only prop guy is needed because of ammunition. Okay, cool. I'm just saying, Emily, that Alec Baldwin said 40 years in the business, he's never heard the term armorer. I'd never heard the term armorer before. And I've been in the business since the late 80s, back when I was on the set of Adventures in Babysitting. That was my first... So I know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've seen the film that I had my biggest role in, the Roger Daltrey classic Father Jim. No, didn't we watch the trailer for that? Didn't somebody find the trailer for Father Jim? And it looks so bad. And it had some different name. It had a different name. I don't know what it is. I can't remember. It's how little it means to me. If I wasn't in the sequel, I don't care. There was no sequel. There was no sequel. Can we get the same armor for Dealey Plaza 2C? Yeah, okay. All right, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to catch up with something. Why in this mixed chat that mixes the Facebook and the YouTube? Why can't I scroll? Is there a way for me to scroll through there? I don't think there is. Okay, so what else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that sticks out from the Alec Baldwin interview. He did go off on a couple of people. He threw some shade for real. Apparently, he is upset that the first two people to file civil suits against the producers of the film are a script supervisor and a lighting guy. And quite honestly, I was like, well, what are the damages? That's, when you file a suit, that's what your lawyer's going to say. What are your damages? Well, I mean, anybody can file a lawsuit over anything. You sue anybody for anything. But ultimately, if we're going to go to court on this, I, as the lawyer, I want to know what I'm going to get out of it. What are your damages? And what were the damages to a script supervisor who was just claiming, it was just so unsafe, I'm so scared? That could have been me. No, it couldn't. You're the script supervisor. You're over in a whole different area. You're nowhere near this. The lighting guy. I was frightened. I don't ice. Oh, what a horrid experience. I'm suing. And Baldwin threw shade at these people for a very good reason. He explained how, there's going to be civil suits. And the film is insured, so there is insurance money that will pay off on any judgments that come in against the production company or the producers individually. But as he said, that's a finite pool of money. There is only so much money that can be delved out, at least from the producers and from the insurance policy. And Alec Baldwin had a real issue with these people who are seemingly filing these ridiculous civil suits, and they filed them before Helena's widowed husband on behalf of her son, who is a 9-year-old little boy who doesn't have a mother now. If anybody has a right to sue, it should be those people. It should be the family of the dead person, the family of the victim. And he sort of put it out there that that's pretty shitty. That is really shitty that the script supervisor and this lighting director is trying to cut the line and get their big piece of the chunk before it goes to her kid. What happens if another 40 people end up suing and they all win their judgments, and then the kid and the dad comes through because their case was filed a little bit later? It's only been a month. Their case was filed a little bit later, and they're like, sorry, there's no more insurance money because the lighting dude, he needed to get his pound of flesh. I thought that was a good point. I thought that was pretty shitty. And you know, like he said, they asked him, they said, should they sue? Should her husband and child, should they sue? And he was like, yeah, they should. Yeah. That's, if anybody should, they should. Absolutely. And he also talked about how he, in the immediate, the day following, right when this happened, of course, the husband and the son were brought to the set in New Mexico where the body was, had to come home to Hollywood and all of that stuff. So they went there, and there were pictures of Alec Baldwin with the husband and with the little boy, and they're embracing and they're hugging, and it's certainly not, I'm gonna kill you, Baldwin. No, it seemed very loving, very understanding, very, very conscious on the part of the victim's family that Alec Baldwin's not a murderer. He didn't try to murder her. This was a terrible, tragic accident. And he talked about how they went to the memorial together. He talked about how he cried a whole bunch. I mean, look at the crying and all that stuff, man. It seemed very authentic to me. It did. I like to call bullshit on people and stuff that I think is forced, but I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that this whole situation has wrecked this dude emotionally, spiritually, whatever. He may never be the same. He may never be. People 20 years from now, when he's an old man, they'll say, well, he was never the same after that. I could see that. He doesn't seem to be a man who has any joy. He used to, you'd see him in these interviews, and even when he was saying these elitist, ridiculous things, and trying to be funny about it, not trying, he was funny. And being funny about it, he always had a glint in his eye, and there was sort of, very confident, I'm going to tease you with this, I'm going to get you here. That's totally gone. That's stripped away. We looked at a broken man today with George Stephanopoulos. We looked at a guy who has been through some shit. All right, that's all I got. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else. You know what we should do? Here's what I want to do. This is an idea. Why not? I was very much enjoying the Alec Baldwin threads on Twitter, just to see what other people are saying. He is trending. Let's see. Shall we delve into it? Let's see what some other people think. Oh, don't be inviting George Clooney and Alec Baldwin to the same party. George Stephanopoulos was like, George Clooney has said that never has he handled a gun on a set where he didn't check the gun for bullets first. And then they played a little clip of George Clooney saying that, and Alec Baldwin was like... basically, it's not helpful. It's not helpful. A lot of people feel like I'm paraphrasing his response to that, but he was like, a lot of people had a lot of things that they said they couldn't wait to say it, and it wasn't helpful to anybody. It certainly wasn't helpful to the victim. Certainly was. So he kind of took a little shade there at George Clooney. All right, let's see what some people are saying here in the Alec Baldwin thread. Okay. Oh, God. Never mind. Why? Right? Why? It's all so political. It's all so political. People are awful. You people suck. I feel like he is acting right now. Something doesn't set right in my spirit with this. Okay? That's fine. I'm not going to read that guy. That guy's a known troublemaker. Okay. People, put him in jail. He's a murderer. ABC just put a murderer on TV. Oh, God, really? Is this the world we live in, you dummies? He wants us to believe he didn't pull the trigger and the gun just misfired by itself. Well, that's not what he said, stupid. Just a reminder, Alec Baldwin is an actor. That is true. I had to keep telling myself that, and a good one. So I don't know. Can't wait to find out how the gun miraculously fight. You know, this was a bad idea. People just have nothing but shit takes on Twitter all the time. That's what social media is. Nobody's being thoughtful. Nobody's being considerate. Nobody is actually looking at this, formulating all of their thoughts around the facts that are at hand, and then making some kind of articulate conversation about it. It's all just, fuck that guy for playing Trump. Okay. Is that the world you want to live in? We're just gonna get rid of due process. We're just gonna get rid of any semblance of justice as long as our enemies are forced to bend at thy knee. All right, that's good. That's good. We're done. I want to wrap the show up early. I didn't think we were gonna do like a full show anyway. But I definitely did want to talk about the Alec Baldwin thing and do that whole bit. But here, before we do that, I want to show you something. I want to show you something that somebody sent me. My buddy Radio Dallas, who, by the way, hold on. Here we go. See if I can find this. There's this guy at Radio Dallas on Twitter who always sends me really cool stuff, and he seems to be a really good dude. And I don't know that I know who that is. I don't know the name Radio, but I'm thinking that maybe it might be an actual human being who goes by that, who I actually know, but I can't be sure. So, Radio Dallas, send me a DM. Tell me do I know you? Because, you always send me a lot of stuff, and I appreciate it. You send me good stuff. All righty, here we are. All right, so like I said, Radio Dallas sent me this. Today, if you were listening to the afternoon show, you heard my absolutely idiotic performance of a song, a wonderful song, written by our own Jeff Glenn in the chat room. Ladies and gentlemen, singer-songwriter, Jeff Glenn. We're like the retarded Elton John and Bernie Taupin. That's what we are. He wrote me these beautiful lyrics, and then I performed them. You probably heard that if you were listening to the High Noon edition today. It was a parody song about Omicron, I don't even know how to say it. Whatever the new variant is, it's a parody song about that set to the Paul Simon tune, Kodachrome. A couple nights ago, I went, somebody ought to write a parody song, blah, 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 blah. So Radio Dallas sent me this. Check this out. Yeah, check it out.
And I think back on all COVID-19. It's a wonder I can crack it all. And though the Delta variation didn't get me, no, I can read the writing on the wall. Omicron, so many spike mutations. There goes my greatest vacation. Nothing gonna keep that Omicron away. Hey, nothing gonna keep that Omicron. Omicron, get off my lawn. Nothing gonna keep that Omicron away. Omicron's the devil's spawn. Gonna get Jack. Gonna get Sean. Nothing gonna keep that Omicron away.
Hey, huh?
When I think back
wait. Another verse? No, it's not another verse. How about that, though? Great minds think alike. But here's the deal. That was terrific. Those guys are actually professional performers, and they sound great. But Jeff's lyrics were better. Jeff's lyrics were way better than that. That was weak sauce there. Jeff Glenn wrote much funnier lyrics. So, you know what I ended up doing today? I was sitting around, and I was thinking, I need another parody song. And the two songs that I suggested we use were Kodachrome from Paul Simon, or possibly this one, Abacab for Omicron. I forgot what it is now. I can't even say it. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's an illusion. Did you think that I had lyrics? Did you think that I wrote a song? I didn't write a song. I just think that we could also do a song to that. So, Jeff, get on it, my man. You opened up that can of worms. You think you got another one in you. Why don't you try and do one to Genesis's... I'm just kidding. You don't have to do it. But this is, dude, this song is a jam, though. I was listening to the song this afternoon, trying to get inspired. I forgot what a jam this song was. I'm not a big Genesis fan. By the way, this is the karaoke version. Remember in the 80s when there was always... Look up on the wall, there on the floor under the pillow. Oh, I screwed it up. That's all right. I'm not gonna sing karaoke for you. All right, I'm not that hack. I'm not that. That song's a forgotten jam. That song's great. Yeah, even though I don't have a wide appreciation for Genesis, I mean they're okay, right? I remember the video with the puppets, Land of Confusion. That was all right. What else is pretty good? What's the one in the air tonight? That's good. That's about he saw someone kill somebody and drowned in it. Oh, shut up. I don't know what it's about, but I'm pretty sure it ain't about that. No, it is. It's about him. Phil Collins killed somebody, and he's wrote a song about it. Kids were so stupid. You heard that one, and then you heard, Dad, did you hear? Kiss ran into Sean Cassidy at the airport, and they shoved drumsticks up his butt. No, I did not. I did not hear that. It's true. My brother told me. Yeah, your brother's a freaking idiot. What's the other one? What was the other one? David Bowie got rushed to the hospital, and they pumped his stomach, and they found 4 gallons of cum in his stomach. Really? That happened? Really? Yeah. Who told you that? My brother. Your brother's an idiot. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Those stupid rumors I just said, those were real rumors that like kids used to tell on the playground back when I was little. You think I'm making those up? I don't know. What else? Nothing. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow at noon. Full show, big show, hot topics, trending topics, current events. Whatever you need to do. Yeah, okay, I don't know about... Was it Mick Jagger? Did you hear? No, I didn't hear. They found a gerbil living in Mick Jagger's butt. No. Did they really? Where'd you hear that? My brother! Your brother's an asshole. And Leslie, wasn't that just Richard Gere? I don't think I'd ever heard of a gerbil story with Mick Jagger. I'm familiar. Yes! Ross knows! Ross has it! Well, it wasn't David Bowie. It was... Did you hear? No, what? Rod Stewart got rushed to the hospital. They pumped his stomach and they found like 50 gallons of monkey cum in his belly. Where'd you hear that? My brother! Yeah, it was. It was Rod Stewart. Thank you so much, Ross. Who did I say? Bowie? I forgot who it was. That's I didn't forget to take calls, John. John's like, you forgot to take calls. No, I didn't. I specifically a number of times started going like this. Remember, that was the code for you people if you wanted to call it. And now it's too late. Now we ain't doing that now. Yeah, Ross. That Ross knows. Ross has got them all. Hey, did you hear? What do I need to hear? Rod Stewart, he had gay sex with a whole soccer team. Soccer team? Yeah, he likes soccer. You know, like he sometimes kicks soccer balls at concerts. Okay, yeah, I think I've seen that. Well, he had sex with a whole soccer team, and he got sick and went to the hospital, and they had like 50 gallons of soccer player cum in his stomach. Where'd you hear that, kid on the playground? My brother! Brothers were always the source for the worst information. All right, see you tomorrow at noon. High noon. Noon. High noon. Tomorrow. Noon. Central Time. I got nothing else. Hey, did you hear about Mick Jagger and David Bowie? They got caught in bed together. They were doing it. They were being gay. Oh, yeah? Yeah, sure. Where'd you hear that? Actually, that's in a book written by Angie Bowie, who was married to her, and she actually found that, so that's actually true. Good.